What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. So in this video, I want to talk about a variety of things, a variety of topics. The first topic I want to talk about is B. Smith. Very recently, B. Smith, the model and, entrepreneur, she recently passed away. So condolences to her family. And, some people, especially some black women, are upset and have been before she passed away, but are upset because of her husband, Dan Gaspy, also referred as Dusty Dan by many black women. But her husband, Dan, he receives the money. Pretty much, probably he receives her money unless she specifically wrote out a will and specified where her money should go and her assets. But they were married, so that it will probably end up defaulting to him. And this probably wouldn't be so much of a bad thing if it were not for the whole extramarital affair that Dan had while B. Smith was still alive and while she was suffering from Alzheimer's. And I think there was even talks at one point of like having a reality show about this airing on Bravo. I don't know if that actually was set to happen or was that just a rumor, but I heard about that. And, pretty much people, more so black women, keep it real, unfortunately. Black women were upset about that situation because he was having an extramarital affair, but even more so, he was having an extramarital affair with a white woman. And I do feel like black women would probably be upset. Even if the woman was black, I think black women would still be upset. They wouldn't probably be as upset because there isn't like a racial component with it, but they would be upset about it. And I think that they have a right to be upset about it, you know? And I think for black men and black men's response, black men largely have either just ignored the story, I'm seeing that, just not talking about it at all, or either low-key defend Dan. And that's pretty much it, what I've been seeing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's some black men out there who would be defending B. Smith and on her side and on black women's side. But what I've been seeing more so is the latter, not the former. Excuse me, the former, not the latter. But some black women were talking about like, oh, this is what happens when you marry down. The hypergamy crew, the black female hypergamy crew coming through. So, this is what happens when you marry down. Black women, we got to stop doing this. We got to stop building the brother up, trying to go to the build a nigga workshop. And to an extent, I kind of agree with that. And then some people, I saw this one black female YouTuber, and she was talking about, the situation. And she was like, oh, B. Smith and Dan, they were black love, And I'm like, just because it's black love doesn't mean that it's automatically good. Like, unfortunately, there's a such thing as toxic black love. All right. And I think that for some black women, they aren't aware of that. And they want to cape for black love, even when it's detrimental to themselves and to their collective. And by and large, I don't see black men engaging in activity like that. In fact, I don't really see black men as a collective championing black love like that. Not to say that they're not interested, not to say that they are just wild ass swirlers on the loose, just swirling it up all the time and never want a black woman at all. No. But nevertheless, it's something to think about because I just don't see it being pushed that strongly. And again, well, not again, but we know we have a lot of performers in the community. We have a lot of actors and actresses in the community, you know, where I think like black women are engaged in this in many activities and many um, you know, what's the word? You know, performances, because this is what folks like to hear from black women, and this is what, you know, allows black women to receive some form of validation, right? From being, you know, the mammy or the mule or engaging in, you know, pick me behavior, right? But, you know, just because it's black love doesn't mean that it's automatically good, right? Black love, unfortunately, can be toxic, you know. And I know some people are going to be in their feelings about that, but it's true. Some black love can be toxic. Not black love itself, but some situations that involve black love can be toxic. Okay? Yeah. And I think that Dan Gatsby may be somewhat suffering from like what some folks have referred to as like King Kong syndrome, you know. And I did a video about that a while ago, but I think it's true. You know, I think that, you know, he going through all this for his white woman, you know, being put in public as being a bad husband and being an unfaithful husband and, you know, being a shady husband and also, you know, just being a crappy person, a shitty piece of shit person, right? All this for a Rebecca, right? And, you know, the thing is, like, Dan has a right to be with who he wants, as do we all, you know, as long as it's, you know, within the confounds of the law, he has a right to be with who he wants to be with, right? But I think what made the situation worse, at least for the black women and, you know, who are following the story, is that, you know, she was white and she was moved into the house too while B. Smith was suffering from Alzheimer's. And yeah, it just was not a good look. And I can understand people feeling some type of way about that. And as well, Dan Gatsby's daughter, even, it's like she came out and defended her father, of course, because that's her dad. Um, even though I think B. Smith did take care of um, his daughter as her own, as far as I know, but I'm not sure. Um, but yeah, you know, Becky over there, she working at K Becky Witchcraft on Dan Gatsby. But then again, I'm not even sure if I want to even put it like that, because then it's like, oh, you know, Dan is making it seem like he doesn't have any agency in the situation, and he does. And you know, some people were just saying, well, why not just divorce B. Smith and just come on as a worker or as a hired help instead? You know, so he could just have his extra, well, his relationship at that point, since they would not be married. But of course, I don't think Gann wanted to forfeit B. Smith's fortune, you know, the money that she acquired over the years, you know. And I kind of think that this, you know, this situation should not have, Dan should have went about this situation in a much better way, unfortunately. He did not go about it in a much better way, but he should have. But, you know, if Dan said that him and B. Smith has some type of agreement, or B. Smith says something to the effect of, oh, you know, you can go on and live your life, that can be interpreted in many different ways, right? But long story short, I just feel like ultimately, I think Dan will get what's coming to him one way or another. You know, if he really did do something that was foul and wrong to B. Smith, and they really didn't have an agreement like that, you know, then I think he will get what he deserves in the end. You know, um, let's see. But I want to move on to um, some other things that have been happening, that I want to talk about. Kobe Bryant's funeral, for instance, that happened recently. Many people came to pay their respects. And, people talked about Kobe's black family being, low-key shaded during the funeral. And I will say that I didn't watch much of the funeral. I watched like a little bit of the funeral because it just happened to be on in the break room when I went on lunch break. And I came in at the part where Michael Jordan was speaking, right? you know, and that was nice. And, this situation, a lot of black men have been very emotional about this situation. Black men in the industry and also even black men on Main Street, have been really emotional about this and has really taken this situation to heart, for one reason or another. And I'm not saying that black men can't be emotional and that they have to be robots and never, have a feeling or be human beings. But I'm just saying, just something to take note of what's really, a situation that triggers a lot of black men versus situations that may not trigger a lot of black men, if you get what I mean. Black men. Men's. Who says that? All right. Another situation. A 6-year-old being arrested, a 6-year-old black girl being arrested, and police were called on her by school officials, and the school officials were black, and I believe the police officer who arrested her was black, and the 6-year-old, she was just wilding out and being a wild ass 6-year-old on the loose, and she hit some of the administrators, and they was like, "Nah, we ain't taking this from this black girl here," and they just like 911. Come through, arrest that young lady or that little girl, and fingerprinted her and put her in jail, and wipe their hands of it, right? They also said that they did that to a young black boy in the same week too. But yeah, a lot of folks were upset about it, especially if you are a parent. They were upset about it, and and very recently some video footage of the situation came out, and I don't know if the police officer was fired once the footage came out or when he made or like a little after he made the arrest. I'm not sure. But pretty much it just goes to show you that, in the system of white supremacy and perhaps even in the black community, black kids are not seen as kids. I mean, look at how people treat Blue Ivy. People treat Blue Ivy like she's just a grown ass woman out here. And she's like 7 years old, And I think that's just something that we have to be aware of, because I think sometimes we perhaps maybe can participate in, perpetuating things like that to an extent, you know. But hopefully, justice is served. And I think they could have just did like a scare thing for her. It seemed like she was kind of scared based on the video. They could have just put her in the car, like handcuffed her, put her in the cars, and then, stopped it there and just made it more so like a scare thing. Like, hey, this is what's going to happen to you if you continue to behave like this. You know, because that will happen to her, whether she's 6 years old, 16 years old, 36-year-old, whatever. Like, your actions do have consequences, and that's something that is a part of learning as a kid. All right. So next story I want to talk about. All right. That black lady who bought her boyfriend that rental property. And she was all low-key stunting while they were recording, like she's stunting, acting like she's doing something big, But really, he was supposed to be doing that for her, not the other way around, right? But nevertheless, she did it for him. She bought him like a rental property that was, I guess, $5,000 worth. Based on the photo that I seen floating around, it's a major fixer-upper, so it's probably going to involve a lot of investing more money into it to fix it up, and as well to maintain it. You know, and he was like, nah, bae, I want a gold chain. Shit, a nigga want a Rolex. Goddamn, nigga ain't want a real property that he gotta goddamn manage, invest in, and do all this, that, and the motherfucking third with. So, her Black King wasn't happy about that. She's like, I'm sorry, my Black King, please forgive me. I didn't know that you wanted some gold. A Rolex. No, no, no. Please don't say next. I'm sorry. Let me make it up to you. Thank you. But yeah, in the video though, she was like, see, I told you. It may have been her. Or it could have been someone else, but I remember it being her. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Like, see, I told y'all. But his homies in the video were like, oh, that's what's up, But for him, nah. But one of my questions is, what's going to happen if this relationship ends? And suppose if you and him are just him, one way or another, like really get this thing off the ground, would you expect a cut of his money still? Would you want the property back? Would you sue him? It's just some things to think about that I don't think that she completely thought about and put in some foresight with, you know. You know, like what happens when the relationship ends, Did she put her name on the deed to the property as well? Because she probably should if she expects to continue to receive some residual income from the property. But again, something to think about though, right? Then some folks were coming through with like, nah, you don't buy men extravagant, expensive gifts. All right. And, to an extent, I would agree. Like for me, I don't think that I would be buying an extravagant, expensive gift for a woman that I'm not related to, or, related to either by blood or marriage, one way or the other. Not to say that I wouldn't buy gifts. It's just the extravagance of it, would vary. All right. But, some women were like, Black women, are behaving low-key like they're men in a sense, the gender role reversal. And I've talked about this on my channel as well in previous videos, right? Gender role reversal. And I can kind of see that playing out, she, low-key trying to stunt on social media that she bought her boyfriend this expensive gift or whatever. Let's say if she just gave him the $5,000. How would that have went over? Like, hey, babe, here's $5,000. Happy birthday. I wonder how other people would have reacted to that, It probably, because that's, a nice chunk of change, Just saying. Let's see. So, I guess next we can talk about, well, yeah, let's go into this. Let's talk about Normani for a minute. The singer Normani. So, I remember a little while ago, the video Motivation came and everyone was like, whoop de whoop over video for motivation and talking about all the homage that was paid in the video of motivation, the homage here, how much there, how much every motherfucking where in the video, right? So like a week later, we just moved on, right? And the song came and went, right? I heard the song on the radio played a few times when all that buzz was happening, but then the song dropped real quick off the charts, right? And folks are speculating that Normani may be low-key being sabotaged by somebody in her crew on her team. I'm not sure. I could see that being a possibility. But, a lot of people, especially a lot of black women, are pushing for Normani to be the great chocolate hope, for the black women out there. But I feel like Normani is on her way to being the next Kelly Rowland. And I don't mean that in a positive way. She's on her way to being just like Kelly Rowland goofy ass, being musically worthless real quick. And I saw a performance of Normani. She performed, her and her dancers were like in Laker gear, Laker clothing. And, I saw the performance and, the backup dancers were great. Yeah, that's not a good sign if we're talking about your backup dancers. But I was like, yeah, the backup dancers were good. That ain't a good sign, Normani. That's not a good sign. We supposed to be talking about you being great, not your backup dancers. Although I think an idea that could be put out there is like Normani and those backup dancers form a musical group. I mean, maybe like Normani and the girls, Normani and the ladies, Normani and some, whatever we can call the backup dancers, right? So I saw the performance, and Normani, she didn't really seem like she had much motivation, seemed, really lackadaisical, not sure she really wanted to be there, very much just going through like, okay, all right, here we go. Yeah. And I think the performance that I saw was actually edited and dubbed over her original vocals, at least at times, because there was some footage out there of her singing that wasn't edited, and it was like, that's right. And then some folks saying that Normani maybe need to just go the way of like, Sierra, J-Lo, Britney Spears, the road that Janet Jackson paved, right? And just, more so concentrate on like dance-oriented music and just, do that type of thing. And that may be a good route for her. But, hopefully, Normani gets it together. But I'm looking at, Normani, and she came from the musical group Fifth Harmony, so I'm like, you kind of have like some training on the job or otherwise for this. Kind of should be at another level here, And I'm also looking at, Camila Cabello and comparing her to Normani, and I'm like, I hate to say it, Normani, but that transgender chick, Camila Cabello, she got some bops, I do try to change from the radio station, but lately I've been just kind of like, all right. She got that new one out, with her and the baby, my oh my oh my oh my, right? And I'm like, okay, this is kind of catchy. Looking for a good time, my oh my, comes alive at midnight. My oh my mama doesn't like him. My oh my, she says he's here for one thing, but so am I, right? But yeah, I'm like, all right, that transgender woman got some bops on her, man-faced Camila Cabello racist ass got some bops. I hate to say it, Because, I want to be on the side of black. I want to support the black queens and, the chocolate black queens out there, the dark and lovelies. And, but the thing is, though, I feel like the ones that they're pushing out there, the brown skin, dark skin sisters in the music game, a lot of them seem to be lacking creativity. Not necessarily talent, but creativity, and perhaps an X factor. And I know some of y'all gonna get upset about that, but that's just what I'm seeing out here. Now, Meg Thee Stallion and, Lizzo and perhaps even, the City Girls, you know, Young Miami tone deaf ass, they doing some things, they making some waves out here. So, it's some folks, it's something popping out here for the, the chocolate sisters out here, the hopeful. But right now, Normani just unfortunately ain't got it together just yet right now. Hopefully she can get linked up with some folks that can give us some bops and, give us some really good songs and, market her in a good way. But right now it's just not popping. So next we have on the docket 21 Savage. He said something to the effect of, women don't build, they move in. And he was upset about that. He was like, see, women ain't building out here. These women, they just want to move in. They don't want to build nothing. And then women coming through like, well, we are women. We don't build. Men build, right? But, 21 Savage looking for a strong, independent woman to build. Right? He want to move in, or either just, I guess, come together, right? But I'm like, these groupies, they come and gravitate to you partly, at least, because you can do something for them. And probably just the women in general, though, right? But maybe they feeling like they may be getting used. They just here for the come up, here for the check. But similar sentiments have been expressed by Tory Lanez. He said, like, he ain't dating you if you ain't in his tax bracket or something like that. And, women wanting expensive gifts and things like that, that they can't afford themselves. But I'm like, well, what's the point of dating someone, like if you're a woman anyway, like what's the point of dating someone like a dude and he has like a lot of money if you can't really benefit from it in any way, right? And I'm pretty sure Tory Lanez brags about the money that he has, as much as do many rappers do. That's pretty much standard in rap at this point, right? Which is fine, it's okay, but you're bragging about all this money that you got and what you can do and fancy yachts and private planes, this, that, and the third. But it's like, oh, you don't really want to share any of it, So what's the point, And Kanye West has expressed sort of similar sentiments about he's saying he would like a woman to buy him an expensive, extravagant gift or gifts, right? I think that he said that a while ago when he was, I guess, low-key justifying why he was with Kim Kardashian, because she got money, she got a bag, she got coin, And why hasn't Kanye West been canceled? Because we really quick to cancel. If Kanye West was a woman who done all the things that he's done since being with Kim Kardashian, Kanye West would have been canceled. We would not be speaking about no damn Kanye West at all. But you notice, like, the community is real quick to cancel a black woman, but when it comes to black men, it's like, well, we got to have a discussion about this. We got to see what's really this is about. We got to dig deep into this. We got to analyze. We got to theorize. We got to make 1,001 excuses to defend these niggas in the community. We can't take out this trash. This ain't trash. But it ain't like that when it comes to the sisters, right? Dwayne Wade has recently expressed some sentiments about that as well. saying that, part of the reason he's with Gabrielle Union is because she got her own bag, and she making waves. Pretty much she got her own thing going on, right? And I'm willing to give Dwayne Wade perhaps a pass on this a little bit, just because I think he has been with black women, identifiably black women from a distance, darker than the paper bag, before. So I don't think this was extremely like just to justify him being with like a non-black woman or a racially ambiguous woman, because Gabrielle Union isn't that. She's brown skinned. And let's see. And ASAP Rocky, he has said that he wanted black women or just women in general or whoever. Like he wants to be, I guess, receive flowers and chocolate and be taken out on dates because he's a bad bitch. That's what bad bitches do. So he's been studying the city girls, and just taking notes on how to be a bad bitch. All right, so good for him. I want to jump back to the Normani situation for a quick second, though. Something just popped into my mind. Normani responded to resident transgender Latina Camila Cabello's racist tweets from way back when, and when man-faced Camila Cabello was had her Twitter or her Tumblr page, and in complete man-face fashion, she was coming after black women because, black women are real, real women, and Camila Cabello isn't, a real woman. She's transgender, so she is a woman in gender role, but not a woman biologically. So she's upset about that, and she's lashing out at black women because, black women are just the epitome of femininity, and she just, is a little bit jealous and a little bit shaken by that. So she was saying all this foul shit about black women and just black people in general too, and just lashing out. And Normani, she responded to it in like a Rolling Stones interview, and she said something to the effect of pretty much like, this is just another day in the life for black women and just black people in general. And she was upset about it, and she felt like Camila Cabello was just not down for their Fifth Harmony sisterhood like that, which, yeah, probably not. and then she said something like, to all my brown men and women, we are beautiful. And I'm like, I think she should have said black men and women, but, Normani probably wanted to be not entirely exclusive, but, it kind of like towing the line, So I'm like, a bit of side eye there. But I'm going to let you live for now, Normani. I'm going to let you live for now. So next we can talk about Future and his baby mama drama. And Future like, oh, she just got pregnant because she wanted the bag. You think? You think? You think she got pregnant because she really liked your ass and wanted to, spend the rest of her life connected to your ass? She wanted to spend the rest of her life connected to that bag, and probably be, again, 18 years. Like, really? Like, wow. How did you ever think of that? Like, damn, like, Future, that's a smart ass nigga right there. Like, goddamn, we gotta get him, goddamn, into the meeting, into the boardroom. Goddamn, we need him to put peace in the Middle East. Goddamn, if he can figure that out, he can figure out how to put peace in the Middle East. He can figure out how to repair the ozone there. He can figure out how to, goddamn, eradicate this coronavirus around. Put Future in the room, goddamn, and he knows shit. Goddamn, that's the second coming of Sherlock Holmes right there. But seriously though, and Future just around here just being a wild ass slave buck on the loose, and he hasn't learned by now. Damn, he about 8 babies in at this point. You ain't learned, you ain't picked up on the game by now? I guess not. But I think, future, you might want to be careful because you can catch some STDs in doing that type of activity, now. And at this point, since you got 8 kids, do you want more kids? Because if not, I think you should invest in a vasectomy. I think that would be a really great investment. And I know your ass can afford a vasectomy. So why not just invest in that if you just want to have, wild ass unprotected sex out here? Just do that. All right. So I've said what I got to say about that. Next on the list, Jada Pinkett Smith in this Red Table Talk with Snoop. All right, so Jada Pinkett Smith and her mama invited Snoop to the Red Table Talk or whatever her show is called. And she was, very much talking about, like, pretty much Snoop letting her down. Which I'm like, have you been paying attention? Snoop been done let your ass down. Like, the Gayle situation was, like, when you realize this has been happening for a long ass time. It's not anything new, unfortunately. This ain't like, it ain't like, Snoop Dogg is like Barack Obama. Like, if Barack Obama came out and said that about Gayle, like, you dog-faced ass bitch, then I could understand that type of outrage. Whereas, like, whoa, like, seriously? Barack Obama, the black love with Michelle, the beautiful brown-skinned daughters, you got daughters out here, right? Like Barack Obama, we thought you were the good one, like one of the good ones, right? I can understand something like that. But apparently, Jada Pinkett Smith cannot. So, yeah, that's a bit of a weird situation there. But nevertheless, I do kind of think that black women probably should just, low-key just stay out of it, as they should have been staying out of a lot of things that don't involve them. But, many times black women come through for the black king and his crew. They come through. Mammy pick meal, miss doo. So many black women want to come through and do the mammy pick me mule dance, come through. And, this is how they get the validation, the pat on the head, the Scooby snack, right? From black men. This is how you get it, But yeah, Snoop was saying that he was defending Kobe Bryant's family, right? Vanessa and his kids, right? Even though he doesn't really defend his family or his kids. I don't know. It's just like everybody just got their priorities all mixed up and just messed up in the head all the way. God damn it. All right. So let's move on to the Wade and Little Boosie. Little Boosie had released a video a little while back about pretty much not coming at the Wade per se, but I guess you can kind of low-key take it that way. But he had released a video and he said that basically in an aggressive way that he did not agree with how Dwayne Wade was going about the situation with his son, with Dwayne Wade and his son, right? And, I heard the video, and I didn't really think that the video was really that bad. I know some people may be like, side eye. But I didn't really think that the video was really that bad if you really listen to what was being said. I could understand some people being upset about it. I think that the way that it was said may have been triggering some people, partially. I think partially the delivery of it was part of the reason that some people were being triggered by it. But I feel like ultimately he was just expressing some sentiments that a lot of people have and that I think are common. Little Bootsy didn't, call anybody names based on what I heard. He didn't, call anyone like, slurs or pejoratives or any, offensive names or anything like that. He more so just spoke on the issue, which was, Dwayne Wade, and he just feeling like he's just doing a bit too much, too soon. And low key, I kind of expressed similar sentiments. I just expressed it in a different way, right? And, I applaud Bootsy for at least saying what he means and standing by what he says. I'll say that, He ain't the type of nigga that's gonna say something and then not stand on it. He ain't the type of nigga that's gonna say something then retract it a couple of minutes later, a couple of days later, talking about they ain't mean it like that. So I applaud him for that. I think I heard that little Bootsy was denied entrance to like Planet Fitness for some reason because of that rant, which I'm like, really? Okay, that's interesting. I don't think that was necessary. I think that little Bootsy should have been able to do his workout in peace, because I don't really think he really did too much stuff that was offensive. Like, I see if he was going all through the video just saying all types of, very offensive terminology, language, pejorative slurs and all that. I could see that, where it's like, okay, we can't really have someone like that in this facility, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. But I just don't think that was the case. Let's see. And another thing I want to talk about is the situation with that rapper. Let me put that in quotes. The rapper, Bad Baby versus the model actress extraordinaire Skai Jackson, right? So they arguing over some nigga who I heard has herpes, who's a rapper. They beefing over a herpes infected nigga. Woo. Danielle Bergoli. All right, that's her government name. Bad Baby is her rap name. But she acting like a wild ass ratchet white bitch on the loose. Goddamn. Because some folks done made her feel comfortable. Goddamn. Coming after. And she always seemed like she in beef. Well, she has had beef with like other non-black women too, I think. At least one I can mention. Malu Trevejo, I think. Maybe she might have came after Kylie Jenner, maybe. But it seemed like she do kind of gravitate towards beef with black women, partially because she's in black spaces. And black women are in black spaces because they are black, right? And, some Negro that made her feel comfortable, or some Negroes, or female Negroes that made her feel comfortable, and have not informed her that she is a guest, really an unwanted guest. All right. So this is why we partially got this popping off, because some dude wanted to invite Danielle Bergoli to the cookout. Really into the goddamn house. Goddamn it. But another story. So Skai Jackson and Danielle exchanged some words via social media. And, Danielle threatened Skai. And then Skai, she decided to, get a restraining order against her. So, Skai, she has, she was strategic about this and positioned herself as being, the classy one, right? The sophisticated one, And, Danielle, she's still being ratchet and wild and crazy on the loose. But, notice that she hasn't been called angry, bitter, jealous. Not so much, right? They reserve those phrases those words for black women when they act like that, right? Because if the script was flipped and Skai Jackson was coming at Bad Baby like that, they would be quick to go in on her. Talking about, you jealous of her, you bitter, you angry. What's your problem? See, this is why nobody likes you, right? And, I'm not saying that isn't something that would be completely unthinkable, but notice how that terminology goes though, right? But yeah, like Skai Jackson, I guess maybe her mom maybe told her to do it, perhaps. I don't know. But yeah, she went to the authorities and was like, "Oh my God, I'm being threatened on social media. Oh my God, I'm afraid to go out. I can't sleep. I'm so stressed out. Please, I don't know what to do. Help me." Right? So, she went into, quote unquote, white woman victim mode, right? And it worked. So, Skai Jackson is, showing the sisters how, a strategy, so to speak. It's not the only strategy, but it is a strategy that you can do instead of being, the crazy ass, don't take no shit black woman who just popping off at everybody and, arguing folks down and always in some bullshit. You can take a different approach there. And, there's a time and place for everything, so sometimes you have to be that crazy ass, wild ass chick who's popping off. Sometimes, depending on your um, setting that you're in, the situation that you're in, the environment that you're in, it depends, right? But yeah, I think I've said all I have to say. But yeah, yeah, yeah. So it looks like there's a lot to come out this week and whatever we talking about here. So yeah, the hypergamy women, they are still strong, pushing hypergamy, and we got dudes out here who wanting to be treated like the women in the relationship. We got the women out here wanting to be treated like the dudes in the relationship until one thing or another pops off, and then they feel in some type of way about it. Especially the dudes, right? Until they become emasculated, till the women become masculinized, right? Or defeminized, however you want to look at it. But yeah, the hypergamy girls, they in the back, they in the back right there, and it's like, it's like, I don't care if you're broke, my love gon' cost some change. Nigga, I like fancy things. Nigga, buy me diamond rings. I don't care if you're broke, my love gon' cost some change. Boom, boom, boom. Nigga, fuck romance. Fuck a slow dance. I need finance in my hands. I wanna spend your cash right now, baby. I don't really care. I just want the cash. Give me lots of cash. Give me all the things I need that money can buy. Cause nigga, I like fancy things. Nigga, I don't buy Rolex and expensive things. I don't care if you're broke. My love gon' cost some change, 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 change. And then you dance break. Alright. And then cut back. Broke dusties need not apply. Apply. Don't want your dust, don't need no dust. I don't care if you're broke, my love gon' cause some change, 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 change. But that's all I gotta say. So, thanks for watching, y'all. Feel free to let me know what you think in the comments section. Until the next video, adios and goodbye for now.